South Africans are okay with things not making sense. For example, Jamaica's not in Africa, Haiti's not in Africa, Brazil's not in Africa, but I've come across some South Africans that in theory know this, but in reality, like they don't compute it or process it, right? For example, I'll tell people about my Jamaican friends, I'll be like, oh my gosh, like Jamaicans have housed me and made me feel more welcome and helped my transition a lot more than, some African people. And they'll be like, why are you separating Jamaicans from Africans? Is Jamaica not in Africa? I'm like, bro, we were in the same geography class, you know that Jamaica is not in Africa. And then people would have to dig in their knowledge and be like, oh my gosh, in theory, yes, I do know that it's not in Africa. But the way that Jamaican culture, Haitian culture, even some people think that Brazil, not as often Brazil comes up, but some people do think that Brazil is in Africa. Like they would know it in theory that it's not in Africa, but then practically and realistically, like their brains just see these cultures, the spirituality within these cultures, the expression, the ceremoniousness, the way that Africans feel loved when they're in these countries, and they'll be like, yeah, this must be an African person, even though the theory we learned in class is cognitively dissonant to that, or it is incongruent to the information that their brain feeds them. And I find that so fascinating. I find that so fascinating.
Hello guys and welcome to the Real Watchlist. Kindly consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't. For those who have subscribed, thank you so much guys. So guys, people on TikTok are shocked to find out that Jamaica is not in Africa. And no, this is not a drill. Now, I know geography can be tricky at times, but this one is taking the internet by storm. Today, we're gonna watch some of these TikTok reactions and actually break down why this confusion even exists. And of course, have a good laugh while learning something new. So, let's go, guys.
Why am I just finding this out? Why? And I was seriously ready to argue with my friends. My friend was telling me, and I was like, bro, you're lying. I was laughing at her. Why? Anytime I tell people, oh, I'm from Nigeria, they're like, oh, I have a friend from Jamaica. It's not even in Africa. Why didn't I know that? Why didn't you all tell me that?
So, I think it's safe to say that there are a few Africans growing up who genuinely thought that Jamaica was in Africa. And I am guilty. I am one of those people who genuinely thought Jamaica was an African country. And I remember growing up, my dad used to play Bob Marley so much. And on top of that, the vinyl, we used to call it LPs, the cover was clearly a black African man. So it didn't make sense that if anyone had to tell me, no, this man is not in Africa or from Africa, he's obviously African, but that Jamaica's not in Africa made no sense. But I know better now, guys. I'm grown up.
Welcome back guys. So we've seen the video and honestly they're hilarious guys, but a little bit relatable as well. I mean, if you've never looked at the map closely, you might assume that Jamaica is somewhere off the coast of Africa because of the music, the culture, and the people. Alright, class is in session guys. See this little island right here? That's Jamaica. It's in the Caribbean Sea, south of Cuba, west of Haiti, part of the Greater Antilles. Technically, it's part of the American continent. And here's Africa, thousands of miles across the Atlantic Ocean. So guys, unless Jamaica packed its bags and floated halfway across the world, it's staying there in the Caribbean. So guys, here's the reason why people think that Jamaica is in Africa. It's not completely out of nowhere. Most Jamaicans today are descendants of Africans, mainly from West Africa, places like Ghana, Nigeria, brought over during the transatlantic slave trade. That's why Jamaican culture, food, music have that deep African roots. The reggae rhythm, the patois, the drum beats, they all connect back to Africa. So, if you grew up hearing about the African heritage of Jamaica, I get why your brain might just connect the dots in the wrong places. So, there's a TikTok of a guy saying, so all this time I've been putting Jamaica in the wrong side of the map in my head. Another guy was saying, I thought Caribbean was part of Africa. And her friend, she looked at her as if she had committed a crime against humanity. I love these kinds of moments because they remind us that there's no shame in learning something new. Geography can be tricky, guys, and we all have little facts we've been wrong for years. The important fact is that you laugh and learn and remember it next time. So guys, if you didn't know where Jamaica was before, congratulations, because you've just unlocked a new piece of knowledge. You can flex this at your next trivia night. Alright, that's it for today, guys. Hit that like button if you've laughed at least once. And before you go, please drop a comment in the comment section of that one fact you've learned later in life and actually got embarrassed. I must just react to it in the next video. Till the next one, guys. Bye.